Well, we got the Tesla Robotaxi Day event, and we also got the sell the news along with it. What news exactly sold? We'll talk about it in this video, and we're also going to give some updates on technicals. We'll cover the usual ones in this: SPY, QQQ, IWM, NVIDIA, Bitcoin, and of course, Tesla in there along with some commentary. So let's put this up here for SPY. You can see the prices, screenshot this if you need to, that you can see the different places where we're going to find support and resistance. Look at the recent rejection that we got. It is noteworthy in the pre-market hours now that we are starting to get big bank earnings. JP Morgan coming in with some beats on that for revenue and earnings. Now, after that, it is absolutely all about what we get in terms of commentary for the consumer, because that is what we're looking for the banks, is that we're looking for, what's happening with defaults, what's they're looking for, the spending habits of those consumers, what is it looking for investment for them from those consumers as well. So that's going to be news that helps us to see what exactly direction the economy is going in, and we can watch the markets today, and that would help us give an interpretation of how the bank earnings are being digested. So for SPY, 577.63, we got rejected twice off of it now, but we're still up above the 5 and 13 EMA. So right now, kind of still in a moment of indecision. Bank earnings sort of helping us out, at least so far. We're going to hold off for those earnings calls to find out what exactly is taking place with those, and that's really a nice kickoff to what we have for the Q3 earnings, and really could steer the direction of what we see in Q4 here coming up. So to the downside, 571.02. Watch for us to ride on top of this 5-period moving average. That's very bullish. Riding down below or hanging off of it is where we start to see those bearish moments. It is noteworthy to say that we are in a long-term bull trend right now. So when you see these dips, oftentimes they're rapid drawdowns followed by more elevated times of upward motion. So up more than down, if you will. Over to the Qs. For the Qs, we're getting right around 492 is still where we're struggling a little bit. We closed above it yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, closed above it yesterday. Getting a bit of a long top wick there. You can see that 5-period EMA. Good morning to my daughter. She's going to be 16 months old, the youngest one anyway. And then the oldest one's going to be 16 years old next year. And then I have a 13-year-old in there as well. But that's beside the point right now. Let's get back to the video. So looking at what we have for the Qs right now, like I said, riding on top the 5-period EMA. And man, that resistance, yeah, it's been broken. We closed above it twice. I want to see a full candle above it. Pre-market hours this morning were down just a little bit below that one. So really watching to see where we go with that. You can see support down below at 486, up above resistances 502, and in both SPY and QQQ, still in that rising wedge pattern. What we're seeing for the Russell 2000 stocks through the IWM ETF. Check this out. From yesterday, we actually had quite the green candle. We had to draw down this blue squiggly line that we have on here is the 50-period simple moving average, and you can see we got a touch there. The red one is the 50-period exponential moving average for the daily chart, and you can see that we opened up above it, came all the way down, tagged, and then we're able to close up above where we opened, giving us that green candle, but still a drop overall. And this up here, this is important to pay attention to. What you see for the moving averages in here, the 5 and the 13, 5 in green, 13 in yellow, is that the 5 is crossed down below the 13, and our price action is now down below that. That can be a near-term bearishness, even though we're above the 50 and the 200s on the daily chart. We're still bullish. RSI starting to teeter down below 50, so we're going to be watching for that. Russell 2000 is probably going to be the most reactive out of the 3 indices that I cover on here, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000 stocks. This could be a little bit of a bellwether for us for what's coming up here. Big tech earnings, by the way, should be towards the end of this month. Tesla included in that, and I'll give some commentary. I'll also put out my earnings projection for Tesla, my Tesla stock price prediction later on this month, as well as the next stock, which here is NVIDIA. I'll give my NVIDIA stock price prediction, earnings projection as well, even though their earnings don't come out until closer to the end of November, so that we want to be watching for that. It is the last of the big tech to report every quarter that comes along because their fiscal quarters go differently than what we have for the other big tech that's out there. So riding well above the 5-period exponential moving average for what we have for NVIDIA. And so for NVIDIA, can we get up to 136? That's the previous high peak that we have over here. And then after that, the next one up is the all-time high during the regular trading hours, 140.76, with lots of resistance up above. So I don't know, without mega things going on with the markets or with earnings, that we see us push up above that all-time high. I could see a big rejection coming off either one. And check out how well this resistance played out yesterday. Well, I would say the past 4 days. So you can see that we got rejected here. We were able to break above it, got rejected off at the top of this, found the bottom of the part of this as support. And then if we can get that full candle close up in here, I'll just switch this resistance over to support. So that way we're riding more along it. So good movement right now in the pre-market, up about 135, almost to that previous peak that we have here. Mega rejection, by the way, at 136.50. So if we're able to clear that, that's huge for making it back up to that previous all-time high of 140.76. So be on the lookout for that for NVDA. And I'm going to save Tesla for last. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I'm revamping my technicals on this. They'll be out over at the Patreon first. So if you guys want to see those technicals before they hit YouTube, if you want to see them throughout the trading day, you can do that by clicking the link for the Patreon down in the description. Head on over to the Discord, go to my technicals on watch channel. And when you look there, you can see the updates that I have for all of these and more, such as SNOW, Snow, Trade Desk, Palantir. Those are ones that also have APLD coming up, as this is one of my community members' requests. And those won't be on YouTube very soon, but they are available over at the Discord right now, besides APLD, which I'm cooking up. So for you wild man who requested that, it's on its way, buddy. As a matter of fact, you'll probably have it before this video even comes out. So for Bitcoin, back onto the charts, we have a bit of a descending wedge pattern that I can see. Just taking a peek at this, it's important that we stay on top this 50-period simple moving average that we have here. We dip down below it. Right now, we're currently above it. As we trade, we're down below the 200 as well. So if we get down below that, that is that bearishness on a daily basis. RSI also looking bearish momentum-wise. So we got to watch and see for this one. I said about 60,000 was where we were going to find that support. And so far, that's about where it is. That's about where I have my cursor right now for you. Breaking solidly down below that is going to put us down to these areas where previously I had buying pressure, that we keep on finding it just below 60,000 all the way down to about 54,000. So I would say that that would be that area where you kind of get caught in a net still down below that 54,000. Then we're really watching for that like $50,000 to $48,000 mark. Like I said, I'm revamping the technicals. They're going to be available over at the Discord this morning. Moving over to Tesla. When we take a look at Tesla, so here's the prices that we were looking at. I said we're probably going to sell the news coming out of this event in the pre-market hours. We're all the way down here at this 223.70, so right around where we find this. So let's move away some of these technicals now that you've seen them, and look where that price action is. So we closed yesterday at 238, almost 239. This morning, we're down below this 50 period, and mind you, we're still up above the 200 period. The 200 period moving average that we have on this, and let me click that button. There we go. Now we look at that 200 is hidden right now. Let me bring it up. There it is. There's the 200, right around $200 per share for the 200 day. We're starting to dangle off the moving averages here. That's a bearish sign for us. So what news did we sell exactly for Tesla? Tesla, honestly, I was really impressed by the technology. I'm a tech nerd, so watching everything come out and talking about the different services that are going to have, the automation, the driverless robotaxi, all that kind of stuff. It was really cool to watch. It was incredible, but from a fundamental standpoint, from a financial standpoint, there's likely going to be a large drag on their revenues, compressing margins further, which means lower bottom line numbers, so lower earnings for them probably for a while. We didn't really get any sort of promise that they're going to be doing more to fill out that bottom line anytime soon, at least from that event. So what we're seeing right now is like, hey, in the future, and I would say that the full self-driving commentary that we got saying potentially starting as early as next year. So you can probably add at least 6 months onto that. So we'll see. I've heard the phrase Elon time used several times now and seen it across several different articles that he always is ambitious. And I think it should be done that way. Because if it's like, give us 5 years, give us 10 years, then that pressure's not on to perform. So I do think right now we're seeing some of that profit taking. I think right now we're seeing some of that readjustment to the news that we got from Tesla. So we'll see. I'm still a long-term investor, not moving off any of my shares for Tesla. As a matter of fact, as this thing dips down, I'll probably buy more shares. Just add them on. You can see those buys and sells also over at the Discord, available through the Patreon, link down in the description. So for Tesla, the biggest takeaway, I think, is the earnings drag that we get, and not really going to necessarily see that revenue growth, at least at first, at least based off the information that we got from the Robotaxi day. So I think in terms of immediacy for Tesla, for their finances, it doesn't sound like it's a near-term good thing. It seems like they have a long-term vision that they're reaching for, and I think that's what's going to potentially cause a near-term dip, and that over time we're going to rise magnificently from where we're at. So is it a phoenix rising from the ashes moment? I don't know that we're going to get all the way down to the ashes, but I will say that we could probably dip a little bit more from here. We're going to have to watch and see. Either way, I'm holding on to my shares and building out my position over time. And if I see opportunity for short-term plays with options, I'll do that as well. So guys, thank you for watching. Check out the link down in the description for the Patreon. Also, if you want to do this technical analysis like I do it for yourself for any stocks that you want, and also get access to an excellent trading strategy, the bread recipe, brought to you by Stockmo. There's a link for Stockmo Academy down in the description. I got a chapter in there on options as well for that technical analysis course. And then that course also tells you how to set up the bread recipe, which is a trading strategy up or down for the stocks. It can show you what stocks are about to move and how exactly to capitalize on those moments. Tons of testimonials over there about the success that people are having with that bread recipe strategy. It's one I personally use. Stockmo also personally uses it and trades on it. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Use code word doctor when you sign up for that course, DOCTOR. It's going to be a massive discount. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. It will see you next video.